when Justin Brazel got serious about courting. He declared himself a bachelor and assured all that he'd remain. He could talk for hours about man's power and the supremacy he'd self-acclaim. And then it was in March, way back in '93, he talked about the perfect gal, if it were possible to be, attractive and really shapely, intelligent, yet still obey, friendly, not possessive of the night nor of the day. We'd all sit back and chuckle when we'd see it all begin. He daily would deny it, even lie with an inward grin. To all he still professed that this new gal was nothing great, but still there was no explanation why he left early and then came in late. We who spent some time with him were amused at things he'd do. Time was growing ever so short until the whole world knew. He started making phone calls to places not commonly related, commodity related, and began to cash his checks each week. His destiny was now fated. He complained a little more of money and used to be so tight, and actually began to pick up the tab when he'd go out at night. But weekends began changing in his time with the guys. Somehow he'd have some new excuses and even went and bought some new ties. He found her interest in auctions and then tried her out as clerk. And what he used to find boring now appeared an interesting kind of work. His attention was sure sharpened. He'd climb excitedly in the chair and then begin some patience for the clerk that he used to glare. And so this self-proclaimed man, independent, efficient, and strong, began to learn the facts of life for which he had been wrong. For him, of course, he thought he knew, but today he will confess his image of women changed a lot. He knows more as well as less. For her, it's been amazing too. With his stories, she'd be dazzled. But through it all, she found too late that she was already brazzled. To love and laugh, to share and cry, to live life to the max. To be honest in everything, to sort out important facts, that communication is the key, assumptions both shall omit. That new clothes look really nice, but truth is, the best outfit is to less, to just, and to unity, to only God can know. May marriage soon forever live in love that will grow and grow. He's trying to correct her learning things she doesn't understand. Of course, the tradition to obey his every command. His art of complimenting and his etiquette learned from school will take some adjusting just to stay within the rule. His housekeeping has changed a lot, his tidiness in the kitchen. Love is wonderful with power to soothe life's plaguing itching. He's admitted to trying a new dish or two, varied his diet from taco tico. He says things off guard, I guess, with his tongue concealed in Chico. His need for household items soon struck several as amusing. Washer, dryer, electric range, all these things he started using. Still he was denying in love, he said, I ain't. But still he began wallpapering and buying gallons of new paint. And then Wichita to his interest. Seemed every week they'd make the trip. And then one day at an auction, the charming clerk let it slip. She'd kept her hands all covered up, for she was sporting a huge stone. And she'd had little time to get her future father-in-law alone to ask him that big question. If I became a part of the family, what would you say? He replied, I couldn't pick a better one. Let's celebrate this day. And then it all unfolded just as two had knelt on his knees. For Les had explained it clearly. To marry me, you must ask please. He sweated the whole evening. What could he say? A private place. He'd won the daughter's heart, but now he'd address the father face to face. He rehearsed it, thought it over, and lost his usual good appetite. His sweat, though it wasn't hot, and so slow wore out the night. But then when all had consented and he thought he'd had it made, it was truly the beginning. He was in water too deep to wade. Activities were very great. Careful plans were soon laid out. Wedding plans were in detail. Nothing was left for doubt. The inevitable comes to every man, even though he ain't a-lookin'. Charm, persistence, and beauty will catch together with good cooking. We still prides himself as male macho, denies all things so written, but everyone may judge themselves. This man is love bug bitten. Her wit and charm and flashy smile, dark eyes forever glowing. She had him if she wanted him. It was he who was unknowing. She set aside her career at singing or queen conventions and slowly let the relationship progress, not sharing her intentions. He, like a frisky, colder pup, would frolic in the night air, but her perfume was magnetic, and too was her blonde hair. So let's take the lead proper. Give him the rope, but keep it loose. And free he feels at its end, though all the time he was in the noose. She charmed his friends and family, pleasing him she made some tries, but evidence that he was pleased was written in his eyes. His phone bill was increasing as well as mileage on his truck. His pocketbook was running short. Some guys have all the luck. His ability to talk real fast would somehow play a part. His green eyes and slender build. His creased jeans were just a start. His degree in judging, his carefully shaped hat. Like Kevin Costner or Tom Cruise, he draws attention where he's at. Still today he claims to be innocent, naive, and shy. And even though he looks perfection, he's still a decent guy. He's fun to try to size up, has opinion for every game. It will be quite a task for less, but in the end, he can be tamed. She's for sure a keeper. Once a queen, she's always reigned. And though he'll try, it's still to see just who it is gets trained. There's nothing any better. Love is God's gift for us to find. Let this day fill with it. The past is way behind. His interests were in cattle, buying, selling, judging too. If it weren't somehow related, then it was something that he did do. He wouldn't think of eating chicken, even pork was somehow sin. But Les has got him eating fish since their courting did begin. He became quite a dancer, skis on water and on snow. We think he'll make a husband, only time will let us know. His shopping skills are limited, though Les has practiced him a bit. He goes and does what he is told and always growls and throws a fit. Some say he's a chip off the block, shares a walk, a talk, and mind. But those of us, including Les, know he's truly one of a kind. We've all taught him all we know, bought him books along the way, and through it all, it's safe to say he's her catch of the day. He's learned to use the we word, though no one knows his thinking mode. He has bought a weed eater, and he keeps his garden hoed. His vocabulary has its limits. Romantic phrases are sometimes a miss. The example of an amorous opinion often comes out something like this. Honey, that dress you're wearing is gorgeous, but I think you need a bigger size. And that makeup doesn't do justice to the true color of your eyes. Compliments from him are not easy. He's second grade in E12 class, but he's receiving instruction daily, and there's some doubt he'll ever pass. One side of him is quite thrifty. He searches for bargains to buy, but food and shirts and hats are important. If he likes it, they're not too high. He thinks it's sin to show emotion. To say I love you, I miss you is not his style. I'm thinking if he's ever acquitted, it'll take a jury a long while.